Hello, kitty cats, and welcome back to another episode of Tails and Tassels, the show where you learn about the lives of burlesque and nightlife performers, their craft, their cats, and how the two worlds intertwine. I'm your host, Gemma Smith. By day, I work in animal welfare, and I have 2 cats, and by night, I host the Catbaret, New York City's cat-themed variety show. And today, it is our annual Mew Year's episode. Last year, I shared my ritual for the new year, and I also kind of was vulnerable and shared a bit about my reflection on 2024 and my hopes for 2025. But this year, we are going to be talking about my cats, because instead of resolutions or big goals, I want to reflect on something simpler. 2025 was a full transitional year for me. I produced 3 Catbaret shows, and I also, have a new job working in animal welfare. And when I looked back, I realized that my own 2 cats quietly taught me a lot this year. So this episode is what my cats taught me in 2025 and what our cats can teach us and how that's shaping how we head into 2026. So the first thing my cats taught me this year: rest isn't earned, it's required. Okay, so our cats rest before they're exhausted. They rest most of the day, may I say, if you have senior kitties like myself. They don't push through just to prove something. And this year, I realized I can sometimes wait until I'm depleted to pause. And creatively and professionally, that caught up with me in 2025. Do you ever experience burnout because you keep pushing through and think I'll rest when it's done? Well, our cats rest all the time, and we can schedule times to rest as well. So the lesson here: rest isn't a reward. It's part of staying well and creative. So here's to more cat naps with our own kitty cats in 2026. The second thing my kitties taught me: walk away when something's done. Cats don't linger in spaces that feel off. There's no dramatic exit, no wish-washing back and forth, debating all the pros and cons. When a cat is in a space that's not right for them, a room that they don't want to be in, they just leave. A few things in 2025 for me didn't end loudly. They just stopped feeling like a fit anymore. Has that happened to you? Something in 2025 made you feel as though, this isn't working for me in my life anymore. Projects, expectations, ways of working, maybe people or jobs. So my cats have taught me that not everything needs closure or an explanation. Sometimes you can just leave things that are no longer serving you. And thing number 3, consistency beats intensity. Cats thrive on routine, not extremes. They don't overdo it one day and then disappear the next. And this really mirrors what's worked for me with the podcast and producing. Showing up steadily matters more than big bursts of effort. This is, in general, a really good reminder for creatives who tend to swing between all in and burnt out. And also, as we head into 2026, right, the Mew year, I love using a little cat pun there, as we head into the Mew year, it's a reminder that if you set intentions or resolutions, that oftentimes we start all in for maybe the first 2 weeks and then get burnt out. So maybe it's better to set an intention to be consistent with times for rest and showing up steadily in the new year. Even if it's not perfect or all the time, it's going to pay off in the long run. The fourth thing my cats taught me this year: boundaries don't need a justification. My cats don't over-explain or even have to explain their no. If they're overstimulated, they let you know. They remove themselves. I spent a lot of time in 2025 learning where my energy actually goes. And I don't need to justify protecting my creative time or my bandwidth. And this is big for me. I still struggle if someone invites me out to go somewhere or someone invites me to work on a project and I just don't have the bandwidth. I often, in the past, would be, I'm conscientious. I'm caring. I don't want to hurt anyone's feelings. I want to provide a justification. But it's okay just to say, no, I don't have the bandwidth for this right now. Or unfortunately, I'm not available, but thank you for thinking of me. And that's it. And that is something that I am improving on a lot as I get older. And last but not least, the fifth thing my cats taught me this year, play comes after safety. And this connects directly to my word of the year for 2025, which I talked about in last year's New Year's episode. The word is play. There was play, but I also worked really, really hard this year. Looking back, I see play was easier for me and easier for all of us when we feel safe and supported. And cats only play when they're regulated and secure. That helped me understand why play felt aspirational for me at times, not constant, and helped give me some grace. I was pretty hard on myself that my word of the year is play. I'm not playing enough. But you can't really force the fun. And so it helped me to think about my cats and when they play and they feel safe and they feel regulated. And that's when I can play. That really resonated with me, and I hope it resonates with you too. And now, as I'm bridging the gap into 2026 here, choosing a word of the year is part of my New Year ritual. I reflect on the past year, think about what I want to bring into the new year. I feel that we have to be intentional about what we'd like to bring into our lives and think about it in order to make a conscious effort to feel more of that way in our daily life. So for me, I did make a lot of efforts to play. I had a lot of fun times with friends. I went to the Coney Island Mermaid Parade. I went to France. I went to a yoga retreat. I did a lot of fun things, but I also worked very hard. So this year, as I head into 2026, the word that keeps coming up for me is ease. Not doing nothing, but just doing things with less force. This means listening sooner instead of pushing longer, creating from a place that feels sustainable. When I get an invitation to something or look at my schedule, does this come from a place of ease? Am I forcing something? Am I saying yes to something when I want to say no? Or how can I make my projects more sustainable? So for example, batching work, maybe recording 2 podcast episodes on the same day instead of scheduling 2 separate interviews on 2 separate days. Things like that to make me feel more at ease in my everyday life. And my cats live this way naturally, Liono and Luna, and I'm trying to learn from them. And how this is shaping Catbaret in 2026. So I'm producing with more intention, not just momentum. I'm being really thoughtful about pacing, themes, and collaborators. I've already booked all 3 shows for 2026 now. They're already all listed on the Caveat website. Usually I do it one at a time. And now I'm batching things. I'm batching content. I'm casting for the shows at the end of the year now. I'm doing everything I can so that if I'm doing an action for one show, could I duplicate it for all 3? So I don't have to keep doing these. It's a lot of work producing shows. So if I'm seeking sponsorship for my March show, let's seek sponsorship for all 3 shows now. Things like this are helping me feel more ease. I'm prioritizing community and joy over more. I've got to say that again because I need to do it. I need to prioritize community and joy over more. Letting Catbaret grow in a way that feels aligned. I'm so grateful that we sold out our last show, Meowloween. Over 120 cat lovers were in the audience. That's a huge win for me. And I want to be grateful and also not push myself that every show has to be that packed or I'm a failure. Our inner critic is the worst. So I want to come from a place of ease. Even if you're not in New York City, Catbaret and this podcast are part of the same creative ecosystem. So you're part of our community. So this is a short one, but a good one. I wanted to share a little bit about my own cats, Lionel and Luna, what they taught me in 2025, and how it's shaping my 2026. New Year doesn't have to mean reinvention. Sometimes it's just about listening a little more closely, especially to the beings in our lives who already know how to rest, reset, and move on. So, my kitty cats, what did your pets teach you this year? What are you ready to carry forward or leave behind? Goodbye, just like our cats leave a room they don't want to be in. Please let me know. You can email at tailsandtasselspod@gmail.com. You can also comment or send me a DM on Instagram at tailsandtasselspod. I'm so grateful to have you here and for another year that we get to be alive, be with our kitty cats, and keep creating. Until next time. And that's a wrap for this episode of Tails and Tassels. So if you have any questions, comments, or just want to say meow, feel free to send us an email at tailsandtasselspod@gmail.com. Thank you for listening, and don't forget to subscribe, rate, and review our podcast. Also, join our community on Instagram at Tails and Tassels Pod for more updates and behind-the-scenes fun. See you next time, kitty cats.